That's why it bothers me how because of how the canon is now, Sidious is now the strongest Sith Lord because he's the only one that's supposedly canon. But I did actually see a very interesting four-way, but it depends on how you would take it. Like, who would win between, they had Revan, Nihilus, the Sith Emperor, Vitiate, and Darth Sidious. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? In terms of overall power or scheming? Because if you use scheming and intelligence, then Sidious would actually outwit all four of them. All three of them. But, in terms of power, I don't know. The only thing is, though, Vitiate learned and perfected how to body jump. Well, essence jump. Sidious knew how to do it, but it was incomplete. And yep, there's a reason why this place is called Berry Forest. You'll find the highest amount of berries here. Hopefully I can find some more Pokemon as well, because 43, it's not bad. Haha, immunities. He also could not feed on other holes in the Force. That was his biggest weakness. Because when you get right down to it, if he can't feed on you, he has to rely on his actual Force prowess and lightsaber combat. And he's nowhere near as strong when he has to rely on that. However, those are holes in the Force are very far in between. True, because the wound in the Force within him is what drives him to feed in the first place. He's essentially what would have happened if the Jedi Exile went a different direction. Pop a rare candy in that Pidgeotto, and I have an immediate Pidgeot. I love how those berries, like Nana berries, pineapple berries, they had no use until Pokemon Go. Wonder if that was ever intentional. I don't know. Because they only had niche uses otherwise, like Pokeblock, Poffin, and Berry Crushing in this game, which, you know, is not exactly the easiest thing to do. Well, the minigame itself is very simple, but doing it, you need 2 Game Boys and the wireless adapters, which also begs in the question, it's like, they were toying with wireless adapters this long ago. And then they simplify it later. They simplified Pokeblock to the point where it's like, okay, you put in this berry and that berry. Okay, here's your Pokeblock. Oh, and the whole Pokemon will only eat so much was removed in Oris, so that's one thing I'll give Oris. Poffin making's a little trickier, especially if you do in BDSP because of the, you know, the Switch's touchscreen's not exactly the easiest thing to use. Huh, I actually did not know that. Huh. Pokeblocks to Gen 3 if the battery's dried out, huh? Even if it dislikes the flavor. That's good to know, actually. Too bad it's almost impossible to find, though. That is the big thing that always bothered me about Phoebus and Milotic. Oh my word, was it so difficult to find. I think Game Freak realized their mistake, though, by, It's a little somewhat simpler, though, because the area is actually smaller. Yeah, Oris, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it was so much easier to find Phoebus. They started making it easier to find it in, starting in Gen 5 onwards, because that's when they also introduced the Prism Scale. Because they realized, oh, we removed all capability to increase the artificial beauty. Oh, another thing. Don't even get me started on evolving Feebas in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Of course, it actually makes it a little easier to keep track of something. Getting Blue's phone number so you can rematch him in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. You have to have Daisy groom a Pokemon. That's the problem, you don't. But if you trade one in, evolving it is not that simple in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But in order to get Blue's phone number, you have to have Daisy groom your Pokemon 10 times. But that's how you increase the beauty in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Hey, it's time for the creepy Hypno. Oh, please help. A scary Pokemon appeared there a little while ago. It kept scaring and made Lost Stella scared. I'm too scared to move, but I want to go home. Oh, here it comes again. No, go away. It's scaring me. I love how this actually made a creepypasta. This little side quest. Hypno's Lullaby. Look it up. It's really strange. And it paints a whole new light on this Pokemon. Yep. Two secluded dark woods, I might add. Hooray, my 4th Moonstone. Do you want to tell him or should I? Great job. Great job. I don't think there's anything really up here for us at Cape Brink. Because, as I was mentioning earlier, while I can teach Blastoise Hydro Cannon, which is what this is for, the elemental hyper beams aren't that great. Well, unless you do a specific thing in Gen 3 games. If you knock out a Pokemon with a hyper beam, even if it's the elemental hyper beams, your Pokemon doesn't have to recharge. You can just use the move again. And I kind of like the Rain Dance strategy with Blastoise because it gives it a good boost to Surf. Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, I think there's a PP Max over here. Maybe not. If as soon as I go in there, plot things happen, so we're going to go do a little more grinding, and we're going to attempt something. Something that makes me question my sanity, what's left of it. I think the Primeape is scarier. No! Well, But Guzco, you weren't even needed. It's actually pretty funny. Sorry about these guys, so I can just move on. I never got the chance to use a Machamp, so I've never really paid attention. I'll have to look it up. And I think the whole making Feebas easier to obtain, I think Game Freak kind of learned their lesson about that. Let's make a Pokemon difficult to obtain, and then make it even harder to evolve. Yeah, that's a great idea. Huh. I never realized that Hitmonlee had a decent special defense. That is interesting. Of course, I think how it works is Hitmonlee's the more defensive of the two of them. Well, three of them. I mean, nothing's going to beat the back sprites of Gen 1, though. How bad those looked, and how bad some of the front sprites looked as well. But I have a theory as to why the front sprites look so weird. You were seeing the Pokemon as Professor Oak saw them and how he drew them. And he really missed the mark on a lot of them. That's one of my favorite theories about why the sprites in Gen 1 were so bad. Because in Yellow, that's when they started using the Ken Sugimori artworks. Well, he had already documented most of the Pokemon, it's just he never had anything to record stuff in, which begs in the question, how did it work in Legends Arceus then? Is your character that skilled of an artist? Or is it Professor Laventon doing everything? Also, I still love the idea. And then Ken Sugimori happened. Of course, I will also say that Yellow, a lot of the updated sprites were borrowed from the anime. Since the Yellow was strongly based on the anime. My favorite was Charmeleon, how it looked like an orange cow from behind. In terms of bad sprites. I always loved the joke of Hitmonchan's front sprite. Yeah. Moltres' back sprite was weird, I remember that. Yeah. And it's like, as soon as someone mentioned that, I can never unsee it anymore. I also love how people were crapping on Haunter's design back in Gen 1. It was actually good because it was creepy looking. And it's like, isn't that the point of those ghost-type Pokemon? The entire Ghastly line looking creepy as hell is like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. I always loved Tentacruel's red and blue sprite. How it looked. It was known as the gangster of the sea, so they decided to have it cross its arms. Oh yeah, are you the explosion guy? Yes, you are. How about the execute line? What were they going for there exactly? The execute made no sense whatsoever, because it was just the bunch of eggs, of course, but one was huge compared to the others. Okay. And then Executor's design was so creepy looking. Not in a good way. Oh yeah. They had to go emergency change that for when Red and Blue got localized for the Western market. Because they were going to ship that original design and they realized, that's not a good idea. A full restore? Seriously? You're not even a Pokemon League. You don't even remember the Pokemon League. To be fair, though, if Mew is the origin of all Pokemon, I guess it makes sense for it to look like that to begin with, but it was still very off-putting. Cha! My hitting item senses are tingling, and they're all failing me. Jeez, lady, tell like it is. Oh, Hitmonchan, I would have chosen you if this were anything past Gen 3. Instead of Hitmonlee. Oh yeah, Golbass original sprite. Well, I mean, what else would be in its enormous mouth? But it was just so out there. Really? I find it strange that you can knock him out pretty quickly with Psychic Attack then. Then again, a lot of Psychic-type Pokemon have extremely high special attacks, so... I think that has to do with the weird Gen 1 thing when there was just the special stat. And I think that's what they were going for originally with Hitmonchan, with giving it the elemental punches. And then they realized, oh, whoops. They try to offset him on top a bit, though, by having Intimidate to begin with from Gen 3 onwards. But even still, it isn't that good. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to mention, happy Friday the 13th, folks. In October, nonetheless. Yeah. Actually, did you all know that you can actually... In any version of the Kanto games except for Let's Go, you can cheese the whole Pokemon being asleep thing. As long as you have the Pokeflute, you have Infinite Awakenings. Yeah. And the burn will take you out. It's weird. I have never had these high burn chances until I literally started playing Pokemon more seriously. This has never happened to me before. Well, I did say we could get Machop far later in the game. Here we are. And I'm a fool. I could have just woken us up immediately. Yes, falling asleep in Gen 1. If that happened, it was game over for that Pokemon. Oh, because I don't know my own strength. Two things that made it an instant game over for your Pokemon. Sleeping. Freezing, actually, if you can get it off. Because there's actually no way to recover from it. They kind of missed the mark on that one. And then, one of the most broken Pokemon I used to use in Gen 1 was actually Dragonite. Reason. It is the fastest user of Wrap. Exactly. And Wrap was beyond OP in Gen 1. Sure, you're not going to take a ton of damage, but you're not going to be able to do anything. Ah, too bad trading isn't possible. Oh well. One HP, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Also, I will mention, Dragonite's moveset up until Gen 3 was terrible. Because all I could learn were the high power, low accuracy moves. No, it couldn't learn... Nope, it could not learn Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, or... Well, I think it's just Gen 1, actually. But it could not learn Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, or Ice Beam. Of course, Blizzard was actually broken in Gen 1 because its accuracy was 95, not 70. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Well, even still, though, Dragon types didn't really have much to talk about in Gen 2. Because all they had was the Dragonite line and Kingdra. That was it. Then Gen 3 went nuts with dragons. To the point where Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Gen 6 remakes of Gen 3, every single dragon type except one, Psy, got Mega Evolutions. And the reason why Flygon never got a Mega Evolution, according to them, artist block. I wish I was joking. Who do I want to teach this to? No. I'll teach it to Arcanine, actually. Because Arcanine doesn't really get any moves going forward anyway. I'm keeping Roar because it's actually niche. Or how about the most unnecessary Mega Evolution ever, Rayquaza? I mean, I get it. They had to do something to go with the primal versions of Groudon and Kyogre. I get it. But I guess so, yeah. Gotta sell a remake somehow. And why not by using one of the most famous Pokemon from that gen? All that for a Firestone that I just got for free and as a hidden item. Yeah, that makes sense. Boulder puzzles. These have always been obnoxious, but they were never more obnoxious than the Gen 3 games. And there's the reason why I came up here. Putting Bagooska up first because of its high special defense. Yeah, Deoxys, I believe, was the first to be upgraded from... Because of how hard it was to get, it was considered... It fit into the mythical category. That's normally the nickname they gave Pokemon locked behind events like that. Deoxys just became a straight-up legendary after that. Granted, it is Moltres. I knew this was going to happen, but... God, that flamethrower hurt. But, a second Pokemon moved up from... Granted, you had to buy DLC, but... It got upgraded from event only, and that was Keldeo. Okay, I missed 4 times in a row with Hypnosis. Come on now. 5 times in a row. I know that Hypnosis is inaccurate, but come on. Not that inaccurate. Well, to be fair, no one was a fan of the Kami Trio because what was really different about those three? Until they expanded on them later. The Swords of Justice, I feel, they could have pushed them to Gen 6 because A, France, and B, I mean, they were the Three Musketeers. I get that that's an English tale, but still. We didn't know that we were going to get a region based on England at the time. I don't remember where you get timer balls. I think you get it from the 2 Island store, but not for a while. I knew there was a reason why I kept Hypno around. Two shakes, not bad. Not bad. We're making progress, at least. Nothing that time. Well, that strat's out the window now. Okay, so... Glass cannon, I know, but I gotta do something else. I was about to say, why are you so much faster, but then I forgot to use agility 3 times? Gotta love 3% encounter rates, 3% capture rates, don't ya? Well, 3 out of 255. That's less than 3%. I don't remember if I saved before I did this, so... If I do fail, then I think I'm... nowhere... Oh well. I didn't really particularly was dying to get Moltres anyway. If I don't catch it by the time I'm down to 20 Ultra Balls, I'm just giving up. I'll have another shot later. Much later. And wall it off for something you can't really do much against. Ah. So close. I might actually use Articuno in a different way. No. So, it actually has nothing to do with that. It's a bunch of ridiculous math. Let's put it that way. I thought of a very cheeky strategy that was around during this time. It's going to require a lot of grinding, but... I mean, if it used Endure and I was able to use a move on it, I'd knock it down to 1 HP, but... I have the one Pokeball. I'm just going to use it for balls. Watch it work. Well, it has a status condition. I believe that just doubles the percentage in which you can capture it, but, and of course lower HP also has a lot to do with it. Ah, come on! Alright. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. Or try a few more times. If it fails, then down it goes. I'm not going to attempt any of the other birds then, because I don't think I have access to timer balls. And I really should have thought of that before I did this. Oh well. Not the end of the world. No, I actually never did, unfortunately. Because, I never truly had access to a Super Nintendo back then. And, since they are remaking it, that's when I'm going to definitely invest in it. I mean, I know it's on the Switch expansion, but whatever. Of course, this is what happens when Square works with Nintendo directly. Alright. Enough of this noise. I don't think I can dig out of here, can I? No, I didn't think so. But it's all downhill from here.